So, good evening. Happy Saturday. Different change, pointing out different perspective, different points of views. I'm changing things up a little today because I didn't get my walk on with Buddy. I'm a little bit upset about that. I know he is. I was really looking forward to it, but some other things happened that kind of caused a delay. So here I am, but I'm at least by the waterfront. The sun is setting, and I wanted to just kind of tap in and tune in and share what it is that came up for myself today, as well as what I was observing around my settings and, well, ironically, the theme. So yes, I've got my seatbelt on. I tend to do that when I drive. So today, while I was sitting in my meditation, I was reflecting upon roles. We all have a role to play in this life. And we can call it the game of life, or we can just say it's the unfolding, it's the being, it's participating. It's all perspective. And words are just subjective, and they're personal, because what words you choose to articulate what your experience is personal to you. When you share that experience, when I express myself and I articulate certain words, those are more personal to me. But see, when I use certain words, they may conjure up or inspire or instigate, depending on your experience, something within you. Thank you, dear. Certain words, like I will be talking to my mother, this is a great example, and it will cause her a trigger. Now, triggers are interesting because the triggers are just, again, always unhealed wounds coming up to the surface, allowing you the opportunity to go within and confront them so that you maybe don't get so caught up on them again and again and again. But the moment you notice something caused a rub, let's say, you have that opportunity to sit with it and really go, what is this really about? Is it necessary that I keep on acting out on these words that bother me? And so again, words are personal, and every word means something to us based on our experiences and beliefs and our past, right? So as I'm sitting in my meditation and reflecting upon the masks that we may or may not wear, the roles that we play in this life, because it really is about how are you showing up and what is the legacy that you want to leave in this world. We all have a gift. We all have a purpose. We're here for a reason, not to get caught up on words, not to get stuck in the past or anxious of the future, but to really just like, hey, I'm right here right now. Thank you, beautiful Melissa. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Heather. I love you all. Thank you for showing up. I find that when I was younger, I really wanted to be an actress. I really wanted to be not just an actress, but a model. And maybe not just the physical sense. I felt like I did have the desire to feel validated through it, but I also felt like I could express things that other people might not be able to express, and maybe I could conjure up something within others. So that was really something very underlying in my purpose behind that. But I also have many other desires and wishes and things that I wish to fulfill in this life, and legacies I want to leave. And when I was younger with my sisters, we would get dressed up. We would put on plays for my family, my mom and my dad. I believe that the expressions that we bring to a character aren't just a character. Unless you're really taking on a role that doesn't embody your personal truth. Whenever you're acting, you put on a mask. Can you see through your own veil? Can you see yourself within? Because when you see another person, you have to remember to recognize the other as you. Every aspect that you embody is always going to be mirrored back and reflected to you. And so there is something to behold in the beauty of acting, but then there's also something to recognize, whether or not we're hiding behind the mask and fearful of being fully seen and fully heard and witnessed. because that's vulnerability and that's courage. So when we show up in life, we have to ask ourselves, am I showing up as my true authentic self? Or am I putting on a mask for the fear of being seen fully? Because we all want to be seen, we all want to be heard, we all want to connect. But sometimes we hide from that. So what we wish, we actually resist. We pull it, but we push it away. And so there's so much psychological stuff we have to sit with and discern and learn and embrace and remember, it's all part of us. We have to integrate the pieces of us to make ourselves whole, not to suppress or push away, or, fear of expression causes depression. Rejecting ourselves is also rejecting others. Rejecting another is also rejecting ourselves. So there's this ebb and flow, this energy within us that needs to move. Just as when you engage with another person, it's an opportunity for growth and learning about yourself and the other person. We can't just shut ourselves off from the external world, but we can choose our environments and the experiences we place ourselves in. What is a priority to you? Even when we go out into environments that are causing discomfort, dis-ease, they bring up that, oh my gosh, I can't be. For me, driving, it can be exhausting, but I also try to see it as a way to recognize patience. Because I can get impatient when I get in my car and I have to drive a few miles and I don't know if I can handle this because it's cray-cray and it's spring break or it's snowbirds in town because I live in Florida, and we go through waves of different types of people come in and out of this environment. It's vacation land, Florida's the sunshine state, and so people flock because they're trying to get their vitamin D, they're trying to find their joy, go to the beach, all the little things in life that even as a Floridian I may take for granted. And so when I drive in my car, I have to remind myself, don't get caught up and don't get, discouraged or upset. There's just awareness. The more I meditate, the more I'm able to sit in all the chaos and the craziness that's going on around me. And to also hold space, because when you're more attuned and more aware, you're able to watch the road. You can see through the car expression. Oh, I can see that car's going to do this, and I can see that this is going to happen. And so when you're able to witness it happening and unfolding in front of you and playing out, never take it personal. Don't reject it, because guess what? It's all there for you just to witness, not to hold on to, not to take on. Like my dad used to come home and say, you should have seen this and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I can't believe it. I'm like looking at him going, why are you still holding on to that? Why are you still talking about it? Let that shit go, homie. It isn't serving you. You've already been through it. Let the energy keep going. You just move, just like water. For me, driving is like that too. So I just move. Okay, there's a car in front of me. I get out of the way. Car coming up behind me. I move out of their way. I just flow. May I align with the flow of my soul and allow it to make me whole. If I'm resisting and getting upset and not surrendering and just going with what is, then I'm causing my own pain and suffering. So coming back to the authenticity of being in your personal power and expressing yourself as an individual and being in that space. What is the role that you play in this life? You can put on a mask. You can show up as one aspect of yourself. But are you playing small? Are you downplaying yourself? Or are you standing tall? Even in the discomfort of it all, that when you stand tall, you're allowing someone else to see, wow. Even if you're in a discomfort, going through the motions of doing things that feel uncomfortable actually builds up more confidence within yourself. Because we do tend to self-doubt, right? And beat ourselves up in the mind and go, I don't know if I really can handle this. I don't know if I want to be bothered with this. I don't want to do this. But the resistance is actually the challenge that causes you to grow. So the more you put yourself in a situation that feels uncomfortable, the more you're actually going to grow. the more you can find the calm, even in the discomfort, the pain will go away. Because the pain most of the times is created in the mind. So when you start in the mind, just be kind, right? Be kind in your mind. You'll find that the courage you establish, you cultivate, you work on will rise, and it'll uplift you, and it'll help you in those situations that you want to avoid, you don't want to be bothered with, you don't want to deal with. And that person that cut you off, or the person that did this, will be like, that's nothing. But your role in life isn't to react to everything. It's to show up and to be right where you are in the moment. To allow yourself to just, hey, this is me. I love me. I'm embracing me. There's some painful aspects. My inner child, I want to play. I want to have fun. But the role and the mask doesn't need to be one that hides us. So today, I went on an audition for a particular role in an upcoming movie, and I haven't done this in a while. I've been over the years off and on. This is something that, like I said, it's something I was passionate about and I've always wanted to do, and mostly because here's how I see acting, and not everybody's going to see it the same way. You can look at Hollywood. There's a lot of Me Too, right? A lot of stuff is coming to light. I feel really blessed. I didn't end up stuck in that kind of environment. I was aware of it. And during a certain point in my life, had I had the experience, had I been more immersed in it, although I was around it on a surface, I wasn't fully immersed in what was going on. I had some of my own personal experiences of it. But in all essence, I'm grateful that the stuff that's coming out now is coming out, because it's going to make the environment a lot more... people are going to be aware. So there's going to be more attention to whether or not there's integrity, and if they're going to maintain integrity. So people can't take advantage of you when your alignment of who you are is showing up. There may still be some of the aspects of what was going on, but not like it was before. Because now there's going to be scrutiny on producers and directors, obviously. And people are going to be fearful of, oh my gosh, I could be called out for my behavior and my actions. And maybe I don't have as much power as I thought I did over individuals. And so, going back to that. So I went on this audition for a particular role. And I find acting is really, it takes a whole lot of stepping into a character and really sitting with it and embodying it and bringing to it, because the character is not, depending on who's playing the character, whoever's taking on the role, is bringing all of their personal experience to that character, is creating more than just what's written on a piece of paper, but bringing to it a personality. And they have to take personality aspects of themselves in order to bring that character to life. So acting isn't just, oh, look at them, that looks easy, or I can't imagine being in that role. But we all embody every character out there. It's just how the essence of our being comes and shows up into it. If you ever have the opportunity to act and you have to play a certain role, you'll find you'll have your own spin on it. You'll find that you bring your essence, your being, as part of it. There's still a veil, even with the mask, that even you can be seen through, even if you think you're hiding behind it. Whether it's in life, and you're still hiding behind a mask of what you want people to see, or the mask in an audition, a play, a commercial, or a movie, or a series. Life is, and the irony was, part of my lines was talking about life being a game. But indeed, life is a game. But see, it's all about how you choose to use your words. It's all about how you choose to show up. It doesn't have to be the game that people resist, but the game you wish to play. So if it's a game where your inner child feels safe enough to step up and go, this is going to be fun, I want to go out and play. Or versus the resistance to, I don't want to play these games, which are the old paradigm, the old ways of, you're supposed to show up and go along to get along, and all those old sayings that people used to say, right? None of that serves. We have to shift the perspective. We have to change the dialogue. You have to look at your words and reiterate and relearn and get rid of the triggers, because the triggers are just your own experiences. If a word bothers you, use another word. If someone says a word that bothers you, look at it and ask it, why is it bringing it up in you? What is it that you can actually improve or maybe release as a result? Because whenever it comes up, it's meant to be released. You weren't meant to get stuck on stuff or to hold on to things or be stuck in your past of that situation that, oh, here we go again. What you resist will persist. If a word triggers you and you don't sit with it and confront it, then it's going to continue to show up in your life. Just like if you keep wearing the same mask, you're going to have the same experiences. If you're willing to show a little bit more, just unveiling, take a little bit of that mask off and be in your own authenticity. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. Allow yourself to be courageous. Show up ridiculously or authentically in your own personal power. Don't allow fear to take you out of that. The past is not going to be recreated unless you continue to live in it. The future has yet to unfold. You only have this present moment. If you want to wear a mask, try to remember that your essence is what's most important. And the truth of the matter is you expressing yourself as you are without fear of how people are going to interpret or like or dislike you. It's all irrelevant, really. Because when you sit and this has been my experience, when I feel embarrassed or a little unsure or maybe distracted by what's going on around myself, see, this is why I meditate. I notice that, what's coming up? Why am I distracted by that? And why am I worried about what someone's going to think about me or say about me or how they're going to treat me? It's irrelevant, but we still cling to wanting to be accepted, the fear of rejection, the trepidation of self-doubt, self-love and acceptance comes up when we are fearful that somebody will reject us for being who we are and sitting in our authenticity or standing in our power, standing tall, embracing it all. So yes, be who you are. Don't worry about what other people think. And sometimes it takes putting on just a little bit of a mask, but still revealing even a subtleness and unveiling over time, instead of being stuck behind that mask that keeps you small. Then you want to grow, you have to be willing to be vulnerable. Step into your role, your personal role, your gifts. What did you come to this life to partake in? What did you come to this life to express and to share and to show up for others? Because what you're going to do for you is not just for you. It's always for something bigger and grander. You're showing up for you and taking on this powerful role, no matter how small or how big. It doesn't really matter. It's about standing in your personal power. It's about being in your integrity, alignment with self and soul. I could sit here and tell you that my life has been a series of twists and turns and different experiences that, wow, I'm a totally different person than I was a year ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 25 years ago. I'd be over 25 years in the Air Force had I stayed in. And I'm grateful for every one of those experiences, because it's allowed me to come into the person I am today, the knowing of my role. I don't know all the details still, but that's the key. We don't have to know all the details. We just have to unfold with it. Like, hey, you know, what else is going to happen? You know, don't get caught up in it. Just allow it. Be in it. Do you know what your role is, and do you wear a mask? Let me know in the comments. Hashtag, what's your role? Better yet, if you know your role, hashtag, I know my role. And if you're on a roll. So the beauty, there's lots of beauty. It's a matter of focus. You know, when you focus on a goal, don't worry about how it unfolds. Don't worry about how it's supposed to look, how it's supposed to taste, touch, feel, see it. You know, you can play with that. You can play with it all. Just be present in the moment and just embrace yourself where you're at, right? So we got a lot of love out there, and all we have to do is own it. Like I said, you got to be brave. You got to stand tall and own it all. Every aspect of yourself is beautiful, no matter how you label it, because you deserve everything you came to this life to experience. And I wish that for every single one of you, is that you really truly embrace yourself and just own yourself and be yourself and allow yourself, right? Robin, I've been a wimp. I wimp out all the time. Hey, you know what? It's all good. Just own it and say, I'm going to be a bigger wimp tomorrow, or I'm going to be less of a wimp. There's nothing wrong with being a wimp. But you know, you can step out of that too. It's just timing. It's just timing. When you're ready, you know, it's divine timing will tell you, I've had enough. I don't know how many times in my life I've shown up and gone, I'm done with this. Like when I recognized the patterns that I was recreating of my parents and bad relationships, and when I was like, I'm not doing this. This is icky. I'm like, I am so not doing this anymore. I am done. This stops with me right here. Moving on. But sometimes it takes you literally getting to that moment of, no, I'm done. Like this is enough. Only you know that. You only know when you're ready, because you don't know what you don't know until you know it. The silliness of words, but it's the reality of life. When you're ready, you'll show up for you. And only then. So don't even worry about timing. Just allow whatever is meant to unfold. And don't overthink it. Journal it. Confront it. Meditate on it. Question it, confront it, love it, embrace it. Honor it all. Because that's all going to be your gift to truly owning and honing in on what it is that your role really is in this life. Thank you, Robin. I love you, honey. I love you too, Brandy. Straight to the top, whatever that looks like for you. Some of us have a vision. We have a feeling, a sense, a knowing. Nobody else has to understand it or see it or taste it or touch it, what have you. The key is you staying true to it and having trust and honoring it, and don't worry about everybody else. They've got their own stuff. You know, what somebody thinks of you is none of your business. And the reality is that none of us are ever really thinking about everybody else, except for what we're worried about them thinking about us, which is irrelevant. So isn't that funny? Like, we all want to be connected, and we want to, you know, share and be loved. And the irony is that we are all worried that the other one doesn't like us. Why? Because of the conditioning outside of us. We have failed to go within to find the true acceptance. And when we go outside of ourselves, it becomes going without. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate hearing that. And so that's pretty much what I wanted to share today. It's getting dark. I'm going to go home now. I came back from this audition. It was fun. It was good to interact with people. Took a little bit longer than I anticipated, but you know, there's a reason for everything, and you just got to go with the flow and not go, I could do that. That's not going to serve me. I'm actually grateful I put myself in that position. I put myself out there. I showed up. Sometimes that's the simple thing. Like, I could have easily, Y'all, I could have blown it off and said, screw this, I'm not going to go. Because there was a part of me that said there were other things I really wanted to do, and I might have wanted to do something else. But you know, when I'm resisting it, it means all the more that I do it. If I'm even questioning whether or not I want to do it, that's all the more reason for me to show up and do it. Thank you, Robin. I love you. I hope you're having an amazing Saturday. So yeah, you know, and what somebody else decides to do, you need to just support them and not try to fix them or tell them what they should do, because you would want the same in return, right? I truly believe in do unto others as you would want done unto yourself. The golden rule, I mean, I was raised Catholic, but I don't think that pertains to just a religion. I really truly believe that's a humane rule that we should all adhere to, that what you desire for yourself, you should extend to others, and what you should extend to others is what you probably desire yourself. It's just something I, as a young child, even embraced and said, I don't see this as just a golden rule applying to Catholicism or what have you. I believe that this is something we all desire. And when we desire it, we should be empowered enough to embody it, embrace it, and experience and express it, right? So if you want something, you need to consider, don't just project it on someone else, but embody it in how you express yourself. So there's, again, the mask, the role. How you express yourself, how you're showing up in this world, how you're giving other people permission to be in their personal power is how you're showing up for yourself first. Tell me, do you know what your role is? And are you wearing a mask? Let's be real. Let's show up. Let's show up for ourselves first. Have an amazing Saturday evening. I love you all. Till next time, I will see you all later. Hopefully tomorrow. What? On a walk with Buddy, my little buddy love. Enjoy your evening. I love you all.